Yo, 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 yo. This is DJ Brainstorm on the mic with you right now, coming to you with the next episode of the DMST Conversations Pod under the DMST Podcast Network. Still sitting here with Ulysses. What's going on, Ulysses? How you feeling?
Man, you got it. I'm always blessed, healthy, and wealthy per usual. Um, well, it is May 2026. I made it past Mother's Day.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, but a lot of crazy stuff has been going on, but a lot of growth has been happening too. So I can't even say it's been a lot,
Mm-hmm.
but a lot of growth has happened too. So I'm happy about that. What's going on with you, Brainstorm?
Same old, same old. Yeah, same old, same old. Chilling, chilling. Uh, Glad we got some decent weather coming up these next few days or
Man,
so. I think tomorrow's going to be like close to 90 degrees. So I might actually,
90.
yeah, it's supposed to be like upper 80s tomorrow.
Oh wow.
S- So I might actually um, be at the grocery store and doing something on the grill tomorrow. Well, maybe not because she cooking today, and so we'll have leftovers tomorrow. So maybe not. We got a long summer though.
Well,
But yeah,
when that grill action happened, just send me a text.
I got you. I
Cause
got
y'all
you.
done offered me dinner a couple times. I think I might oblige this time. Shoot. Cause I ain't gonna lie, I was being what is it, modest? I was being modest the one time. I think y'all was
Hmm.
making like some type of Alfredo or whatever. I was like, it's looking good.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. That's when you was still coming over here
Yeah.
to record. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So okay, I'll make sure I keep that in mind. I will just do a quick review of how your 2 weeks were. It's been a couple weeks since we recorded.
Yeah.
Yeah, so how was your last 2 weeks?
Yeah, like I had said, got through Mother's Day. That was rough. And last 2 weeks have been very interesting. Just with me personally, just the epiphanies that I've been having and everything like that. I've been real hard on myself too, and feeling guilty for like resting and stuff like that, whatever. And got another appointment with my therapist coming up soon. But just trying to get my mental together because as hard as I've been on myself and as much as I felt guilty for resting, this morning I decided to get up and put this dresser together that I had for like a little minute, and I bust out crying because I felt so accomplished, but at the same time, it was like, make baby steps. Little progress
Mm-hmm.
is still progress.
Mm-hmm.
And I just like bust out crying, saying, like, I am so emotional. I don't like this. This does not go well with my thug persona. And nobody watching this pod better say anything about me crying over a dresser.
Hey, at least you got it together.
Yeah, but um, just getting, ready for the 10-year anniversary that we celebrating in Columbus, Juneteenth weekend.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I'm excited to do a pot of R&B. Like I miss it so much. Like I'm
Mm-hmm.
so excited to do a pot of R&B. Um, and just get back, discussing, having grown folk conversation. I promise you, like, as a little kid, you could ask, well, you can't ask now, but you could ask my parents back in the day. I said, I can't wait to get older, drink, play cards, and talk shit. That's what I thought all adult life was like. That's to kick it. Okay.
Yeah. And then you
Come
got
over to friend's
18,
house,
19, 20, and
have
you
some
start getting
drinks.
bills.
Yeah. Have some drinks and talk shit. Now we call it podcast.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that did take the place, because I remember my early 20s when it was just, I mean, every weekend we was going to be at so and so's house, or we was going to be here, or when I finally got my place, it
Hmm.
was parties at my place, and everybody just kicked back and chill. Because I've never really been a big club. I'm not saying I never went, but it was never like, okay, I got to be there every single
Usually you're
weekend.
working.
Yeah. Even no, just being younger, it was always just, hey, we at somebody's house, we chilling. Everybody pull up. Everybody bring whatever you want to bring, food, drinks, whatever. We just all gonna sit back and chill. You know. So yeah, like you said, the podcast kind of replaces that, and that's why the podcast game is. That's why I missed the early days. Like you said, it's 10 years since we've been doing this pod, and back then it was still a lot of regular people doing pods.
Mm.
People say all the time now that the podcast game is dead, or and in
It's
some
slowed
ways it
down.
is.
Yeah.
In some ways, it is. I mean, it has for regular people because I know Paco used to say it a lot, and it's true. The celebrities is kind of what changed this whole thing. I saw somebody on a panel real quick like the other week. I think it was during the Black Effect podcast weekend. They yearly get together. Um, and some lady was talking about how people always say it's too many podcasts, and she's like, no, it's not. It's just that it's too many podcasts. It's not good. Well, she's right, but there are too many podcasts in a sense. Like this was a beautiful thing when it was organic and it was just people getting together and having conversation. In 2016, 2017, 2018, when we was really first starting and getting into it, it was a lot of fun. A lot of these people that we're going to see in a few weeks down at Columbus. Um, but then, brands started seeing that, hey, we can really sell a lot of stuff. We can sell advertising and all those types of things if we just put Kevin Hart on 5 podcasts,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and that's what started killing it. Everybody who isn't a celebrity that
It's
doesn't have
just
a podcast now.
it's saturation to a point. It's saturation to a point, you know?
Mm,
Um, but that's the same thing that I can see with comedy.
mhm.
Before it was only Comedy Central, BET Comic View, and just it was like very, very, very few things you can catch stand-up comedy on,
Yeah.
and now any and everybody can put out skits.
Hmm.
Any and everybody can produce a show. All you gotta do
Hmm.
is have a venue, have some people talking to a mic. Um,
Hell, to be honest, we did a comedy show obviously in the studio and we just streamed it live.
yeah. So, um, I think saturation and accessibility do play a factor into it because when you're so overwhelmed with options, you usually don't choose.
That's a good point.
Um, so it becomes like normal. It doesn't become as special as it used to be.
Hmm. Yeah, I get that in a sense because I used to have a rotation. Back in the day when I was still, again, early years of this show, still working in offices and not at home,
Mhm.
I had like schedules. I knew Mondays I'm listening to the Knights and whoever else. Tuesdays our show came out. I'm listening back to our show. I might be listening to the one show. I can't remember when TOS came out, but I would listen to them on Tuesdays. I'm listening to the one show in New Orleans, I think on Wednesdays. I'm listening to this group and this show on Thursdays. Like I knew the days that people dropped their shows and I had a routine. And now it's like there's just so much stuff out there that it's almost like it's hard to keep up with shows if you do like them because you have too many things you can go to, or even within the shows themselves, they got 2 or 3 other things they're doing outside of that, and so it is a lot. I just think it's just even with the lady who said there's too many shows that's not good, that includes celebrity shows too. Everybody thinks just because a celebrity's name is on it that it's automatically good. Like I, I'll watch a little bit like of for example Jada and Fat Joe every so often, but it's horrible. Who do when have you ever sat there and said, you know what? I would love a show with Jada and Fat Joe. Like that would just be like the best thing ever. Like never. You've never
Their
said that.
chemistry in the studio is so crazy.
Yeah, it's just, you've never said that before. I've never sat there and said, you know what, man, Carmelo Anthony, man, I would love to know what he thinks about whatever. So it's too many in that sense too. But
And
when
you
a
gotta
lot of
think
money
about it.
got
Some of the
involved
stuff
and
that
changed it.
we have, as everyday people, um, they are now the same everyday people because Carmelo Anthony don't play basketball no more. Cam Newton don't
Mhm.
play football no more. So it's like now they're regular people. So now what are they doing? They're spectating, they're watching, they're developing, different takes on things or whatever, and they want to, talk about it, which is not a problem. It's just the fact that a lot of times they go for the low hanging fruit with this shift in consumption because we got to look at consumption as well.
Mhm.
Yes, it's saturated, but look at what people are consuming. Most of it is rage baits. Most of it is
Yeah,
controversy. Most of it is, trigger
negativity.
trigger entertainment. You know what I'm saying? Like that type of stuff or whatever. So, unfortunately, we as a society have been programmed to indulge in those type of different content lanes because think about the news. The news been our podcast for years and they don't talk about nothing positive. There's always something controversial or something
Mhm.
triggering or something like negative. It's nothing good. It's never
Yeah,
nothing good. Like
negativity
you just
sells.
now starting to see people kind of move away from it because although it may be controversial, the Grits and Eggs podcast with Deontay Cow is actually very palatable, if that makes sense. Because it may be a
Mm.
controversial topic, but he does give good insight on how he chooses to maneuver certain waters and stuff like that, whatever. So it's all about actually having substance as well. because you can only be
Mhm.
controversial so long before that now runs out. You done
And
burnt
that was
through your
yeah.
consumers, you know?
Yeah, and that was the problem with a lot of people that do pods. Like you box yourself into a thing where like again, 10 plus years of doing this and even
Mhm.
before that consuming podcasts and listening to them as I was thinking about trying to start one of my own, and it's just people put themselves into boxes because they think they're doing something that's going to get them on instead of just kind of being natural. I can't tell you how many shows I've seen of women that start a podcast and they want to talk about sex because guess what? Sex sells. But after 3, 4 episodes and you ain't got nothing else to talk about, you ain't got a podcast no more. So it's
Yeah,
it's 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 people just you gotta, like you said, you gotta have some substance to some things. That's why we always kind of prided ourselves with our show of being able to talk about a variety of stuff, pop culture, real life stuff, what's going on in the world, news, social
throwback,
issues,
all type of
commentary,
stuff.
sports, everything. We've always been on it, everything, and that's
Food,
tough to do. Yeah, it's tough to
because
do.
I'll never forget, what was it? The waffle on a stick that we did like almost 30 minutes on.
Oh man, I remember that show.
And the waffles was made out of peanuts.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah,
Oh my god, we probably did 30 minutes on that food, man.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I don't know, but you mentioned a second ago like comedy being kind of like that thing too, where so many other avenues to it. So in that lane of comedy, you mentioned pre-show the Kevin Hart roast,
Yeah.
and full disclosure, I haven't seen it. I hear it's over 3 hours long, so it's no way in hell I'm gonna watch over 3 hours.
You
I've
think
seen some
that?
clips.
You think
Mhm,
that? But I actually did, because I seen how long it was and I was like, "Woof." But you would think that, but you gonna watch it.
mhm. Well, I've seen some clips, but the big thing coming out of this, the mainstream of what people are talking about is um I know you mentioned the jokes at Cheryl Underwood and her husband who so you say he killed himself, right?
Yeah.
So it was a lot of jokes thrown at her, which seemed random, and then it was a lot of stuff about racist jokes too. So I've only seen some clips, so I don't have real big opinions on it. I will say that what you were saying pre-show about um, people being able to be creative and things like that, like comedians, that's where comedians get me sometimes because I ain't gonna lie. There was one point where one of Dave Chappelle's one of his more recent specials where he was still on the trans jokes and things like that, which is it's whatever. I'm not here to comment on any of that because usually Dave is very very smart
Mhm.
with the way he does his jokes. And so even if it may be controversial to others, I'll look at something and like he'll circle all the way back at the end and like, oh, he tied everything he did into in this hour-long special right back all the way to this ending joke. And so you see the genius in it. But I've seen him do some jokes sometimes where it's like, all right, it just feels like you're punching down because you know that you can. And I'm like, all right, and you're too clever for that. So that's when something like that would irritate me because I know that comedians could be way more clever than they are. And so when it comes to something like the racist jokes or whatever, um, I know there was I guess there was a pretty good amount of George Floyd jokes, and like you were saying, I don't get it. They can be way more clever than that. I guess is my point.
And, as a comedian, when I first got into roasting, um, it was a couple different tips and rules. You know, usually when you roast somebody, y'all discuss what's okay. I recently, actually had to drop out of a roast at the end of March when my mom had passed, because it was the day before the funeral and I had too much stuff, to get ready for, and it just got out of me. But me and the guy that I was roasting, we discussed whatever, like, what's okay, what's off limits, this and that, whatever. Um Now, when you roast, I have been in roast where I said nothing's off limits, talk about whatever. I don't even care. Like, it is what it is. I'm gonna just, get through it and ride that ride. And it was rough, because as a female, and I hate this too as a black female, a lot of times what they try to come at you for is what society looks at, your body count or your hair or this and that, whatever. It's just like the stereotypical black identity of a woman or whatever. So
Hmm.
usually you have to deal with that, um, and it's like the way that they went about it with this roast, it was so off-putting because it's enough material within me. Like if I'm getting roasted, it's enough things within my life, my personal that I've done that don't include anybody else, just you least, that you could talk about, that you can
Mhm.
make funny, that you could write about. You know what I'm saying? Especially at that level of comedy. We're talking about vets that have been doing it for a while. That
Years
pen
and
can
years
be
and
searched for.
years.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like y'all put Kevin Hart up there, and it ain't the roast of Kevin Hart, it becomes a roast of black culture, which is I don't understand because George Floyd has nothing to do with Kevin Hart.
At all.
Like Cheryl Underwood's husband has nothing to do like his career doesn't even overlap with Kevin Hart and the passing of her husband. Like there's certain things were like kind of like out of nowhere. Then like even when it was about Kevin Hart, like he's so short that you would have to lynch him from a bonsai tree. Huh?
Yeah, that does seem
Like
weird.
what?
I mean, but, yeah,
Like, mm, I mean, it's so many different ways in which you can go dark without being disrespectful as well. It's so many different things. Like even what was his name? Not Nate Jackson, but he just Ryan. Is it Ryan?
Orion Davis?
Yes. He just
Mhm,
talked about a plethora of controversial things, you know, abortion, all type of stuff, whatever, in his special that Ali Sadiq um helped
mhm,
him with and put out and everything like that, whatever. And all of it was funny. Even Nate Jackson's joke about Charlie Kirk was funny, to where most older black people don't even know who Charlie Kirk is. So they kept bringing up every Charlie that, you know what I'm saying, ain't Charlie Kirk. So it became the focus of we don't even know who this is to mourn or be sad or have no type of feelings about this man. That's
mhm.
funny. You know what I'm saying? Like you know the effect and the impact you have on people when you say certain things and to be so
True.
careless, especially at a time that we are in right now. Yeah, that wasn't it. That wasn't it.
Mhm.
And I just and as a comic, it just showed me where your pen at. Like, it really just shows me how beneath me you are when you have to go for something so low hanging fruit. Like again, that was supposed
Mhm.
to be the roast of Kevin Hart. It was supposed to be the roast of black culture.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
And he's the only
I can
second
follow that.
black person to get roasted, if I'm not mistaken, outside of Flavor Flav.
You mean like
Like,
on Netflix or well, I don't even know
well,
where
see,
the Flavor Flav
it was
one
supposed to be
was.
like a Comedy Central, Netflix kind of combo type
Okay,
situation because
okay.
Comedy Central would usually put out all the roasts. It'd be
Mhm,
Comedy Central's roast stuff, da 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 da. And as long as I've known, I think, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, the only black people that have been roasted is Flavor Flav and Kevin Hart.
I
Everybody
mean,
else
I
has been
know
white.
that's gotta be well, I guess, and associated, like, with that network, like you said, between Comedy Central and Netflix, maybe that's true. Um, yeah, I mean, I'm just big on creativity, and so, um, like you said, low-hanging fruit. It's just to me, that's why I do like the comedians who make you think while being funny, and not like they making you think like you gotta go write a book report, but just
Or you gotta Google something, yeah.
yeah, but just the it's a step higher. It's almost like rap where you got the people that could you got like you got dumb rap, you got mumble rap, you got the high and
Woke,
dope fiends
yeah.
rap, and then you get to whatever you want to call it, woke rap or something. But then you get to a point where it's like it's just you can hear them talk. You know what the words mean. Sometimes it could be a little more thought conscious. Sometimes it's just somebody that's just a better rapper. It's not whatever. And it's just levels to it. And comedy is kind of like that, where it's again it's your pen, like you were saying. You can just make a dumbass little racist joke or something, or you could have said 1,000 jokes about Kevin Hart's height, which is probably one of the reasons why they kind of went a whole nother direction, because I'm pretty sure they had height jokes about him, but people have been talking about Kevin Hart's height for how many years now?
I
So
mean,
that's
to a point, but at the same time, it's the same way with Cadillac Escalade that been around for how long? How many versions of Cadillac Escalade is there?
mm,
So as long as he keeps living, as long as he keeps experiencing life, you always have new material. You know,
mhm.
two what, maybe 2 years ago, the height joke would have been different than maybe 10 years ago. When you say, Kevin Hart so small, like he can't even get on the hover round, with 2 feet, whatever it was. You know what I'm saying? Like it just there's different ways in which life changes around us, even though we are the same people. So
Mhm.
I get the height thing could be mundane, but hell, I get it even as a black female. Are you a tall glass of water? Do you know how many different men I've heard that from how many different generations? Are you a tall glass of water? Do you know how long that's been around? Do you know how many times I've heard that?
Mhm. Yeah. Well, it's one of those. It's still overall. I'll check out part of it at some point, I guess.
Yeah, we were talking about height, short jokes and short jokes, but they always come up with new short jokes. They don't,
Mhm.
like new fat jokes and shoot. Somebody said, who was it? I think it was Tony Roberts that said something about like your throat so strong you could drink peanut butter or something like that, whatever. Like just you can do a lot of things. It's no limitations. It really isn't.
Mhm.
But you have to be mindful. That's really what it
You
is.
got it. People got to be willing to take the chance to actually try something that's going to work.
Mhm.
It's the way I would look at it too. And a lot of times, I guess people don't want to take that chance. They feel like they take the easy way. And it seems like for y'all who are comedians, why would you get into that space and want to take the easy way out? The people who kind of push the buttons a little bit, toe that line a lot of times is the ones that people tend to like a little bit more because they more so mirror what a lot of us are like in real life. The way we talk to people a lot of times when there's not a camera on us 24/7. So I'll probably
And
check
let's
out
be
some of it.
and the other party is what do you want people to think of you if you even care to a point? Like I don't really care too much because certain people just ain't gonna be happy no matter what you do. You can fucking create the cure to every illness. You know what I'm saying? They're just not gonna like you. I'm not talking about
Mhm.
those people. But my thing is you had a choice to say these things or not say these things and you said them. You had a choice to do these things or not do these things and you didn't. Because even with like I said before the show, with Drake, I haven't brought myself to even listen to his music because what's not okay in the White House shouldn't be okay in the studio either. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? As far as pedophilia. Like, um I really can't separate the offense from the person. Because everybody
Mhm.
try to say, "Oh, well, Robert did that or whatever. R. Kelly ain't had nothing to do with that." Although the job was a job and they did a job, whatever, in this space, in this capacity, these are still the same people. We don't I don't think that you can always separate that stuff.
Mhm.
Just my opinion, you know what I'm saying? Those are still the same people. So if you did that, and it's way harder to recover from pedophilia than a lot of things because I think like pedophilia to me is the number one um like just non-negotiable foul thing you could do.
Yeah, yeah, I get you
'Cause
on that one. Yeah.
it's something that that child will likely never recover from.
Mhm.
Everybody brings up the whole Chris Brown situation when controversial, things come up with celebrities and stuff like that, whatever. And we now know that one, Chris Brown was defending himself, went a little too far, absolutely. However, being attacked, you're trying to like you don't know what's going on as far as like, how far you're gonna go because you're protecting yourself. And when you're protecting yourself, don't nobody, in all honesty, don't nobody get to say how you react to me.
Mhm.
Because if I sit up there and pinch you on your cheek and you think that it's a little bit too hard, you could punch me in my face.
I mean,
Now,
that'd be a little far.
but my thing is, who am I to tell you that that didn't hurt to the level of what I think that you felt? You know what I'm saying? You don't
Mhm.
get to pick and choose how people react to you. I could have just sat up there and just, pushed your shoulder. You can knock me the fuck out. I don't get to decide how you react to me. Is it excessive? Is it too much? How, whatever. But we wouldn't be putting it on some type of level if I would have never touched you.
Mhm. I mean, I am always I've always been a person who said that, kind of along those lines that you're saying that you don't get to choose how people react to what you do. You can't. It kind of falls in line with the whole thing of people always say, things like, "Oh, well, there's freedom of this and freedom of speech and freedom of that and
But there's
whatever."
no
And I
freedom of
and I, and I,
consequence.
and I will always say, exactly what you just said. You know, you don't get to choose how somebody reacts to it. That doesn't mean that people can't overreact at times, though.
Mhm.
Um, you know, and go too far.
Oh, don't get me,
But
definitely can overreact. Like, I mean, the teenager who killed his parent over a cell phone, definitely an overreaction. You know what I'm saying?
hmm
I'm not saying that that don't exist. What I'm saying is that you don't get to dictate how people react to you. So
hmm
you might want to be a little bit more careful on how you choose to, exchange with people,
hmm
because although all men are raised not to put their hands on women, if a woman out of nowhere put their hands on you like a man, I have a nephew, I have men in my life, you know what I'm saying, that I would never want them to put their hands on a female, but at the same time, you got to protect yourself too. And if Rihanna, and that's why I say, even with the roast, if Rihanna was able to forgive Chris Brown, it shouldn't be a issue with other people, because that's something that happened between two adults. They have, processed it and put it in a place, whatever, for them to function and be around each other and be in the same thing. Like, they good. And all the stuff that was said on that roast. If George Floyd's family would have been like, okay, you can say that joke. That's the only way I can see me not being offended by that shit. But I'm pretty
hmm
sure that George Floyd nor his family would have been okay with that type of material.
hmm
I'm pretty sure Cheryl Underwood's husband would not have been okay being mentioned the way he was mentioned, on top of it being almost 3 to 4 different times.
hmm
Like, unless the person who is literally the victim in the situation says it's okay, it's not okay. It's just not. Like,
Yeah.
even the kids, from the Me Too movement, the Epstein, for all that stuff, whatever, like, they would have to say that they forgive their offenders for it to be any type of, atonement made. Like, it would have to be a forgiveness from the victims. And I don't think a lot of them victims forgive their offenders.
hmm
So yeah, so no, it's not cool. It's not okay. I can't separate this person doing their job from this person, personally.
hmm
Because everybody brings up Martin Luther King. He was such a great man, but he was also unfaithful to his wife. Does that mean he wasn't a great man? Oh, he's a great man, but he was a horrible husband. Same person.
hmm
And I am somewhat of a firm believer that I believe how you do anything is how you do everything. If you sloppy at work, you probably sloppy at home. Probably, like, you probably are this person in different areas.
Yeah, most definitely.
And then when it comes down to the whole touching kids, if you touch somebody else's kids, most likely you touched your own. And rumors have come up that 47 and R. Kelly have touched their own kids. That's a problem. You touching your own kids, and it's supposed to be any type of okay or pass, and you did it with other people's kids. Like, what? How far do we let this little thing, go?
hmm
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. When you start getting into, pedophilia and stuff like that, which I don't know how we got this deep, but when you start getting into
I'm
that,
sorry.
that's
We were
usually
talking
no, no.
about
I was
this
just
witchcraft.
no,
That's
no,
a
no, no, no,
relatable,
no, 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 no. That's just where most people cross lines. I mean, most people is like that's a line that people be like, all right, you can't go past
Yeah.
that. Most people with sense, most people that are sane, all those types of things would be like, that's one. I mean, hell, even in jail, if you go to jail for something like that, you ain't safe in jail. Those people that do that. So,
I
and
mean,
if people that are in jail have standards, then goddamn it, people on the
they do.
outside can have standards.
That's what I'm saying. And it's like you got okay, so and I hate to break it down like this because it's a topic that has been discussed, whatever. But when it talks about like things that a black man can do to the people that are around him or whatever, and I hate to use black men as the example, but black men can be drug dealers. That's ways in which you hurt the community. However, drug dealing is normally consensual. So somebody is choosing not to do what's best for them and you're monetizing it. Okay,
hmm
whatever. Then you have, you know, maybe robbing people. Okay. The offense is
That's not
grave,
consensual.
is not consensual. The offense is grave, is not consensual. However, what you took can be replaced. You can make back the money. you can make back, you can get your car, you get whatever, whatever. So then you have robbing. So then you have, let's say, go a little bit deeper, right? Um, Getting a woman pregnant on purpose and being a deadbeat dad. Because some people do just care about making a baby and having that legacy and their name and their DNA, da 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 da. Okay, so then you have that impact to people around you. And then you go into violence, black on black crime. You fighting somebody who look like you being offended, you taking their life distance, not whatever. Then you have that impact. Then you have the, violence against women, domestic violence and that whatever. But then when you go past adults, when you go past the sex, the gender, the women, and you go to kids, that's like the last stop. Like what even with Mike Vick and the dog,
Mhm.
fighting and everything like
Dog
that, whatever.
fighting.
It's just certain things that should be, I guess, engraved in your morality. That's not okay. That you just
Mhm.
would never. It should be some what I would nevers for people, and not everybody has that, and that's where we as a society have to sit up there and hold them accountable with, whether it
Mhm.
be prosecution, whether it be just, hey, I ain't fucking with this dude because da 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 da, and y'all better not fuck with him either because isolation will do something to people too.
Yeah.
You know
That's why solitary confinement works for people who are in
exactly.
jail.
So
Yeah.
it's just certain I would nevers that people have to develop in society for us to even come to a point where we can make impactful change because the fact that people are listening to Drake's album after he has been labeled a pedophile, like, is
But
wild.
there has to come a thing where I have no idea what Drake has done or anything like that. Hit that whatever evidence, I guess I'm not that deep into it, so I could be wrong with this, but I would think that the evidence against him is way less than what the evidence was against R. Kelly, considering people watched shit on a tape and saw R. Kelly's face on shit.
No, no,
So,
no,
um,
absolutely. And then on top of that, I
um,
don't even think Drake even ever came out and said and denied the allegations. That's what's crazy to me. I don't think I've seen anything where Drake just said outright, "No, I ain't touched no kids." Like, no, this is no whatever. Like, even what is his name, Partisan, who was with Megan Thee Stallion, came out on a song and said, "I didn't cheat on her." You know what I'm saying? Like, usually, if you're accused of something, you speak to it and you say, "Hey, this is not true." Even if they continue to try to, investigate this and that, whatever, you at least say, "Hey, from my mouth to your ears, this ain't true." Even Bill Clinton did that. I did not have sexual relationship,
mhm.
but I
We
don't
also
think you
live in
can.
a different time where people don't come out and say, "Okay, I didn't do this as much." It seems like at times, and or you be like, "Oh, you try to handle it in other ways." I don't know. I mean, I think when situations like this come up, most of us think with our regular, I guess, ordinary brain, sane brain, or not celebrity brain, where it's like if somebody said something about me that wasn't true, I would be screaming from the mountaintop that I didn't do this and all these other things. And I don't know. Does this fall in the same bucket of things where we expect people to, you know, like somebody gets accused of something and then they settle out of court, and people are like, "Oh, I would never settle because I'm gonna prove my name." But it's like, but then you're gonna have people suing you all the time, and all these different. So it's just,
And
I
then
don't know.
that's the crazy part about it because if it wasn't true and it was defamation of character and it was all those things, why didn't Drake sue Kendrick for saying that?
I have no idea. I don't know.
Because a lot of people move to lawsuits when it comes down to saying certain things about them that's not true and they can prove it. That's the crazy part because for Kendrick to be able to say that about that man with no evidence, also, I think about it too, whatever. No evidence. Just says you was.
Well,
You
people have
didn't say
said
you wasn't. You didn't sue this man. That leaves a lot for people to question as far as the validity of the statement.
people have also said a lot in rap.
And then it's
When you
also
when
people
it's
throw around
dissing
the,
and
oh,
raps,
a hit dog gonna holler
people have
too.
said a lot.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say people have said a lot in rap.
Yeah.
Whatever. People have called people all types of names and accused them of all types of things, all in the spirit of rap. So I don't know. I don't know what people have done. You will
But
hope that
then when
Drake
you think
hasn't
about it, like
participated in
people
these things
people
that they
called
said he did.
people called Diddy a freak for years, and we just not found out. Hey, this dude is really a freak. Like,
Well, yeah, yeah,
so I
yeah.
mean, until there's evidence. And people do a lot to keep away evidence in that lifestyle and in that space of how like
Mhm.
who knows? Who freaking knows? All I can do is make sure that I maneuver accordingly to my beliefs, my morale, my integrity, my consideration for human beings around me. And yeah, I just and it's so crazy because I be skipping so many songs. I made a 2005 playlist and I have to skip so many songs.
And that's the thing that comes along with when you're looking at people and what their track record is and what
Yep.
they've done. That comes along with that because that's music, that's movies, that's all types of entertainment. Where if you take that approach, which people have that right too, then you're going to be writing a lot of people off your list over the course of time. Um, it's a lot of guys that's been accused of different things in the past. There's directors, there's excuse me, different movie producers. I mean, it's legitimately everywhere, especially when you look at something like the entertainment space, where for years and years and years, and even still to this day, it's a male oriented space of where from coming from the place of where it's driven from, I should say.
Yeah.
The people who are in power more so are always men, and there's probably who knows how many stories there are of men abusing their power, like entertainment, oh hell, any field basically at this point, um, over the years. And so again, when you adapt that, or when and put that into your life, you're gonna be Xing a lot of people out of your life. That's just how it is,
And
sadly.
and it's crazy because I think if I'm not mistaken, Jennifer, what's the lady name? Older lady actress. I don't know why I can't think of her last name, but she
Jennifer
does a lot of
Lewis,
stuff. Yep, Jennifer Lewis. And another celebrity, was it Tracy Evans? I don't know. I know it was Jennifer Lewis for sure. But a couple of celebrities had came out and was very upset that certain people had attended the Met Gala because I guess it's like sponsored by like Jeff Bezos or something like that or whatever. And Jeff Bezos is supposed to be somebody who was on the island and everything like that, whatever.
hmm
So it's like, how do you compartmentalize and filter what's okay and what's not okay when it comes down to environment, when it comes down to affiliation, when it comes down to entertainment consumption and stuff like that? Because you have Jennifer Lewis who's upset at people for attending the Met Gala because it's, I guess, sponsored by Jeff Bezos, or he has some type of tie to it.
he has some. Yeah,
But then
now
you
he
also
does, I
have people
believe.
who attended it, like Angela Bassett. So it's like, dang, is Angela wrong? Is Jennifer wrong? Like, which way do
Mhm.
you kind of sway with everything, whatever? Like, even with, um, you know, what is it? Drake taking shots at the people he took shots at or whatever. Somebody was saying that Drake was there for LeBron when his son almost died or whatever. And I don't know. Did you know about that?
I have no idea if Drake was there for when that
Yeah.
thing happened
So
with Bronny a
I had
couple
read
years
that.
back or whatever. I mean, I don't. I mean, I don't. I would have to actually like kind of pick up the phone and Google the timeline and stuff, because at this point, hell, the whole Drake and Kendrick beef at this point is what ain't it like 2 years old now?
It
Because
is. It is.
yeah,
It's
it's
2 years.
that's
I
like
was waiting on top of how.
almost 2 summers ago now. So, and Bronny's is in he just finished his second year in the league. So it's like, yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't
And then
know,
who's to
man.
know when he did that? And
But
I hate to say this, but I do believe that gratitude expires. Like, it's some people that is in your life just based off of what they did for you when you was in the first grade. Why? They ain't did nothing
uh,
new. They ain't did nothing
uh,
new for you in the first grade. They saved you from one little punk ass fight, and they ain't did shit new for you since then. And you just hold
ori-
them in the same regard. No.
my thing with that is, I mean, were they friends or were they celebrity friends? Where it's just like,
Exactly.
oh, where it's
We don't
just
even know the
we were
relationship.
yeah, we were cool because of who we were, and I rapped your name in some songs, and you would come to some shows and stuff like that. Like that, is that really friends? Where have I ever had you over to my house? You know what I'm saying? Have we ever vacationed together? If things like that. If not, then we're probably not friends. So get out of your get out of your feelings. I was about to say something a little bit more, but get out of your feelings, because we wasn't friends. I mean, like there's friends, there's associates. I mean, this whole conversation, I guess, can go to a larger space that we um won't have the time for. But it's just, didn't nobody tell Drake to go get another man's face tattooed on him. He the one that went out there and got LeBron's face tattooed. I'm pretty sure LeBron didn't,
Wait,
didn't
what?
pay him to go. Drake had a LeBron tattoo. He got LeBron's face tattooed on him, I believe it was.
Shut up! Didn't know that. Did not know that.
Yeah, that was
I
talked
was
about a
today, you
lot.
know.
That was talked about a lot, even during the beef after LeBron had popped up at Kendrick's concert and all that stuff after or during the beef. How Drake had the tattoo and that he actually has ultimately gotten it covered um, with something else right now. I don't want to speak out of turn because I want to say something about with SGA, the other basketball player. Now he has tattooed him. But he had a LeBron tattoo. I don't know what grown man possesses what possesses someone, a grown man, to go out and tattoo another grown man on them. There's nothing at my ripe old age of 45. There's nothing that could be done to make me put another grown man on my body. I'm not even outside of maybe my dad. That is it. That is it.
Listen,
That is it.
I'm over
And
here
even then, I'm
like
not doing that.
perplexed. Like out of all the things you can put on your body,
He put a whole nother
like
man on him. That's not blood.
nah, bro. And then on top of that, it's just like you have these friendships among celebrities that's just so fleeting as well. Because wasn't who was it? Was it Krishan who was upset that Kaylani kind of like, basically brushed her off in exchange, something like that, whatever. I think it was like two
Don't
females.
don't ask
One was
me.
more,
Mm-mm.
huh?
I said, yeah, you ain't even got to ask me that one because I have no idea.
Yeah,
They
it
too
was it
young
was
for
it
me to
was
know.
something about um I think Krishan Rock had tried to FaceTime Kaylani or something like that, whatever, kick it with her, this and that. And Kaylani was like, I'm not about to like hang with you, like, and Krishan, I guess, felt some type of way, whatever. But it's like being friends with somebody should be consensual because it's very easy for you to be a friend um in somebody else's head and you are none the wiser of them.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I
Mm-hmm.
don't I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I think like gratitude does expire, and if at any point, I ain't seen you in a while, I ain't talked to you in a while, we ain't kicked this and that, whatever, and I'm just like, okay, I guess it is what it is. We have now went down to the level of associate, and I'm seeing Kendrick Lamar. I mean, it's music.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't. You don't see me sit up there in a music video, you know, with a owl by the noose or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? Nothing crazy, but
Mm-hmm.
if I ain't going that hard, it shouldn't be that deep. And then on top of that, talk to me. I'm pretty sure the only mention of it being an offense or Drake feeling away that LeBron found out about was in the fucking song. I'm pretty sure there was no previous conversation
I know he been
of
he
him
been
feeling
he
some type
been
of way,
he been
and he didn't put
tweeting
it in
or
a
saying
song.
something to songs. No, 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 he know. But again, that goes back to there's no you shouldn't have another grown man tattooed on you.
No,
That's a
no,
cardinal sin. Stop it.
no.
Stop it. Stop it.
So
Um but yeah, like I said, maybe that's another thing we can kind of get into a little bit more. We got a couple of things, even the one from a couple of weeks back that we want to dive into. That's I'm actually kind of glad we did today because we didn't have the time
mhm.
to really kind of get into it. Because it'd be a longer conversation. We keeping this one really short this week. Are we shooting for next Sunday?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, then we definitely hop in. Ooh, next weekend is the holiday.
It is. Oh, it
Yeah,
is a Sunday
it's
before
Memorial.
Memorial Day.
It's Memorial Day weekend. Um,
Oh, let's do the following. Let's make it
We
easy on
yeah, we
ourselves.
probably
Do
got
the
to play it.
following
Yeah, we got to play it. Yeah.
because
What we
it's
ca-
like it's not even like a chance to do it early or late for real.
yeah, what we can do. I know you mentioned us maybe hopping on the IG. Maybe we can work something like that out this week. That we take maybe 30 minutes and just hop on the IG or something. IG live.
Hell yeah, on a
Maybe
Wednesday
hop
or
in.
something like that. Like we used to shoot on Wednesday.
Yeah, and maybe just hop on and do something from the DMST page. Maybe we do
Yep,
something like that.
yep. We could do that. Yep.
So yeah, just so let's see if we can pull that off and get that together.
All right.
All right. Well, give them all of your shits.
As usual, it's Ulysses Dickerson, comedian Ulysses Dickerson. Until next time, stay blessed, healthy, and wealthy per usual. I have a show coming up in Canton on the 29th, Friday, May 29th. I'll be in Canton. Um, Juneteenth, DMST podcast will be in Columbus
We'll talk
celebrating
about
the
that
20th
too. Yeah.
anniversary. And then I also be in Cincinnati in June as well. So, and I'll be at Brothers on June 2nd. So that's all I got for
That's
you
it.
this
Okay.
time.
All right. And then for
All
me,
right, Brainstorm, give them all your shits.
where they can find you. You didn't say that part.
Oh yeah, on Instagram, Ulysses Dickerson, and if you're tuning in on or watching this from Facebook, whatever, and you catch me on Facebook, just let me know that you're tuning in from here because I do screen all my requests from Facebook. It'd be crazy. But yeah, you can catch me on any social media platform, Ulise Ulise Dickerson.
Okay. Then for me, I just got R&B night Tuesday night at Bar One, University Heights on Green Road. And then it looks like I'll be back at Johnny Malloy's and Dr. Geppetto's on Friday night because there shouldn't be a Cavs game. Hell, win or lose tonight, it won't be a Cavs game on Friday from what we can see from the schedule. So I have my 2 days. I work on Saturday too, but it's just a personal party. It's a private party, a graduation party I'm doing. So I will catch y'all sometime during the week, and then like we said, we'll try to hop on the IG one of these days, and then we'll be back with a brand new show in 2 weeks from this Sunday. So it may be cloudy today, but the sun will come out tomorrow. And as long as you are here under the sun, live your life to the best of your motherfucking ability. I am DJ Brainstorm on social media. DJ Brainstorm for you on all social media. That is DJ Brainstorm, and number 4, the letter.
You.
All right, y'all. We'll catch y'all when we catch y'all. Peace.
That was funny as hell. I feel like every time I be doing a dance, you